Have you ever set yourself a goal only to freeze at not knowing what to do to actually make it happen? Or made a start and then lost interest halfway through? In either case, you end up not achieving your goal and oftentimes feeling a little bit crap about that fact. The good news is that it's not just you. The topic of goal setting and behavior change is really well studied in the world of psychology and neuroscience. In this video, I'll break down some of this research and show you how you can use it to achieve your goals a little bit more easily. So before we start, the definition of a goal. The dictionary says that a goal is any desired aim or action. Every time you go to the grocery shop or get yourself to work on time, you're smashing your goals. However, in the context of financial goals, which are a little more complex, Elliot T. Berkman has a really nice way of putting this definition. Goals are the things that we want, but that we have difficulty achieving, even though we know that they are achievable. So we know that hitting our financial goals is not going to be easy. How do we make it less difficult? That's what I'm going to talk about now. So Berkman said that you need two things in order to achieve goals. The first is motivation to adopt new behavior. The second is the skills and knowledge to take action. So first, let's look at motivation. Your desire for the end result needs to be really strong. If you decide that you want that house, you really need to want that house. Your desire needs to be so strong that you're willing to prioritize it over other things. Hanging out with your friends, spending money on new shoes or a fun holiday maybe. And crucially, it might mean prioritizing it over some of your other goals as well, because your ability to prioritize your goal are what is going to keep you consistent over the longer term. And like I've said in previous videos, it's very rare that financial goals are one and done. Like, your financial freedom tends to be a long-term project. Okay, so if we know the value and the importance of motivation, what do we actually do with that information to help ourselves? First, you need to choose financial goals that mean something to you, not what you think should matter. That means taking some time to think about the what and really hopefully the why, because that will tell you a lot about the what. Next, it's really helpful to be flexible. So if you realize that a goal isn't working for you or doesn't feel right anymore, and that is a different issue to feeling hard, because we know it's going to be hard. But if your life circumstances have changed, some other context is different, and the goal doesn't feel like it's clicking with you anymore, change it. Because nothing is more demotivating than pursuing the wrong goals, losing motivation, and then failing. It's also a really unhelpful thought pattern that you'll fall into. So set the right goals and be flexible with them. Okay, so we've talked about Berkman's point about motivation. What about the skills and knowledge that you need to actually carry out the behavior that you need? Let's say that you decide you need to start a side hustle so that you can pay down your credit card debt. That is a really excellent goal for you. You've decided it is what you want, you know why you need to do it, and it works for your life. Everything's great. The only problem is that you lack the knowledge about what skills you have that you could possibly sell. And secondly, you don't know anything about running a small business. So there's both a knowledge gap and a skills gap. And for a lot of people, this part is where we freeze and then just stay in that I don't know what to do phase. So what do you do about that? A really important part of goal setting is figuring out what those gaps in your knowledge are. So what do you need? What lies between where you are now and where you want to go? Once you've figured out what lies between those 2 points, break your big hairy goal down into smaller chunks. This is a super common method because it allows you to work backwards from where you want to be and tick off the required steps to help you get there. The next thing I wanted to mention is the importance of creating the right conditions for yourself. There is a cognitive bias called the intention to action gap that says you're your intention to complete an action isn't actually enough. There are so many other little things that can get in your way, one of them being that freeze state where you don't know what to do next. But you also might have other behavioral aspects that could easily get in your way. So figure out what those are and set yourself up very proactively. For example, if you do need to do research about how to run a small business so that you can set up your side hustle, but you are terrible in the mornings, don't commit to doing all your research in the morning. Commit to doing it in the evening. That's a really simple tweak that you can make to make sure that you are best set up. Okay, so this is your 4-step process.
Choose goals that are meaningful to you. Be flexible and willing to adapt your goals based on the data that you receive from experience. Take stock of the gaps in your knowledge and map out how to fill in those knowledge gaps. And finally, create the right conditions for yourself to succeed.
Back to our friend Berkman, he said that goals are a detour from the path of least resistance, which is to say that they take effort to achieve. But if you're kind to yourself and realistic about the process, you are going to be much more likely to achieve the things that you want to achieve when it comes to your financial goals. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment below any thoughts that you had or anything else that you'd like to see from me. See you next time!